Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. During the week, the not only the wrestling world, but the entertainment world, the sports world, media, and every little view of the world lost an icon, a legend of the game, and one of the pioneers of the early year. Robert Edward Turner III, otherwise known as Ted Turner, passed away at the age of 87 just a couple of days ago in his home in Lamont, Florida. And for many people, this man was quite the pioneer, to say the very least. Started out his business career as he was born at November 19, 1938 in Cincinnati, Ohio. An attendant of Brown University, believe it or not. He was in our area. And when he was growing up, he wanted it to do a lot of different things. He was a visionary, as they say. His family moved from Savannah, Georgia, was raised at a private prep school in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where he actually did attend Brown University on their debating union. Then he actually did join the Coast Guard, the United States Coast Guard, and was honored as a U.S. Naval Memorial in 2013. But in the 1960s, after leaving Brown, he started, his journey, and as a matter of fact, grew his way up to do a lot of big ventures. In 1978, he became one of the guys to create CNN, but it also was his enterprises and companies that made him who he was. In 1976, he took on one of the biggest ventures of his career when he became the owner of the Atlanta Braves. And from there, his team became one of the most synonymous franchises in all of Major League Baseball. Thanks to a network that he created, the Superstation, TBS, the Atlanta Braves became the first Major League Baseball team to have a national reach, to be shown in all 50 states at the time, dubbing the Atlanta Braves America's team. Under the leadership of Ted Turner, the Atlanta Braves went to the World Series in 1991, 1992, and won it all in 1995. Also made a run in 1996 and 1999. During that time, the Braves became the face of Major League Baseball. Many people believe that under Ted Turner, he took a struggling and almost bankrupt squad and made them one of the most profitable and most popular baseball teams in all of MLB. During that time, that was when I grew up and became a member of the Atlanta Braves, and still to this day I am a very loyal and staunch member of the Atlanta Braves as well. Not only was he a part of the Atlanta Braves, but he also was part owner of the Atlanta Hawks of the NBA. And during their time, they also saw a boom, even though they never won any NBA championships, but their teams were always competitive, always in the playoffs every year that Ted Turner had been on the squad. Obviously, he also was very instrumental in the news organization, becoming the first major network in the world to bring 24/7 news every single day, 365 days a year. That famous network is CNN. And still to this day, CNN has become one of the bright spots of news organizations. In this era of everything, what made him unique and made him so famous was Operation Desert Storm in 1991, where he had his own reporters, boots on the ground in Baghdad during the conflict between Iraq and the United States. Ted Turner was a revolutionary and a vision of many different things. For us in wrestling, he took Smoky Mountain Wrestling, which was back in the day one of the pioneer and upcoming great wrestling promotions by Jim Crockett, and turned it to World Championship Wrestling. And in the early 90s, World Championship Wrestling was pretty good. But then in 1994, the game changed when Ted Turner opened the checkbook and brought megastars like Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, the interjection of the NWO, and before we knew it, the Monday Night War began. And during that time, for 84 weeks, the Monday Night War was raging, where WCW went head-to-head with Vince McMahon and the World Wrestling Federation. At the time, the WCW were beating WWF. And a lot of people could not believe it, that the Monday Night War looks like it was siding with the side of WCW until the Attitude Era began for World Wrestling Federation. They had to reinvent themselves. They had to change the game some way, somehow. And thus, when Ted Turner left, the game had changed. WCW did actually go down and ended up losing the war. But for that period of time, the man called Billionaire Ted, Captain Chaos, brought a lot of chaos to the world, but it was in a good way. His philanthropy and his good nature, especially in the politics and everything else, made him a household name. The generosity that he's had was instrumental to many people around the world. And what he did, even up to his final years before he passed away because of cancer and other health issues, Ted Turner was the first billionaire to put his money where his mouth was, challenging every other person to do right in the world. And he did. Ted Turner will forever be linked to many different projects and many different things. For me, I am grateful for him because he took the Atlanta Braves from being a mediocre and average to becoming one of the best and most well-recognized franchises in all of Major League Baseball. I don't think the Braves would be where they were if it wasn't for Ted Turner and his belief in the squad and his belief with the team. For that, I thank you. For the love that you had for professional wrestling, taking a major risk and challenging the narrative, bringing WCW to the light it did. I thank you for that. You know, there's not many people that has really affected the way we look at things in the world. You know, his brilliance had also had major effect on many networks. The action of TNT, Turner Classic Movies, Cartoon Network, TBS, True TV. All this was because of Ted Turner. CNN and Headline News was the point of emphasis that you got to see during the time. As a matter of fact, the around-the-clock coverage of the trial of the century, O.J. Simpson, was always on top, especially on Headline News, because that was the first company that did things 24/7. So you knew exactly up to the minute what was going on in your world. And why he thought of it? Because of the fact that Ted Turner remembers when he used to get home, he wanted it to see the news, wanted to see what was going on in the world. But back then, the news only started at 6 and 6:30. After that, you never heard the news for the rest of the night unless you were fortunate enough to listen to the late night news at 11 p.m. Ted Turner thought that was not right. He thought we had to do better. And thus CNN and Headline News was born to be the first company to show 24/7 news around the world. Didn't matter at what time of the day, you got the news. Anything that was breaking, they were the first to do it. Anything that maybe you missed something in the morning, they will always repeat it for you so that whatever part of the day, you got to be informed and entertained. Ted Turner can be a lot of things. Even in his environmental work, he even was the man that created Captain Planet and the Planeteers, wanting them to teach the youth about waste, about greed, and wanted to bring a positive light and a positive influence to the youth. I can tell you this, my friend. You did a lot more than just do that. You educated the masses and left us with an indelible mark that will be remembered forever. You know, there's not many people that I really get sentimental about. But this is one of the men that was really a hero. And like I said, as an Atlanta Brave fan, I can't say anything bad about this man. He was, without a doubt, a unique individual. And I was very pleased to know that he, did everything he could to bring the squad, to do everything he did. And like I said, he was, without a doubt, the most amazing individual that we can ever remember. 1995 will forever be etched in my mind. Seeing the day after the Braves had won the World Series, and to see him hugging his then wife, Jane Fonda, and the rest of the ownership group, and to see him in the locker room with the Braves getting to hold the commissioner's trophy as the world champions of Major League Baseball in 95 is one of the lasting images that I will forever have of this man. Ted, normally on this show, we always say thank you for the memories, thank you for the inspiration, and thank you for you. But I want to go one further. As an Atlanta Brave fan, as a fan of professional wrestling during the WCW era, I want to tip my cap to you, sir. Because without you, I don't know if the Braves would be where they are today. I don't know if WCW would have even succeeded. But one thing is for sure. Your mark, your legacy, and everything you had touched was simply one thing: golden. And that is a lasting image that I will have of you forever, sir. An inspiration, a pioneer, an icon, and a legend is what you are. For the city of Atlanta, for the country, and for the world, I thank you for everything you did in your life. Anthony Florio, it is all yours, my friend.
Oh my God! How in the world am I going to follow that? I don't even know how, but I shall do my best. First things first, I got to say, MF, very well said. Longfellow couldn't have said that any better. That was absolutely beautifully well said. Ted Turner, pioneer. You ran down everything. I mean, he gave us CNN, he gave us TNT and TBS and the Cartoon Network and True TV and Headline News and of course what he did for your Atlanta Braves. Before he came in, they did struggle. They were not that great a team. They were okay at best. They were a middle of the road kind of team. But then when he got there, the '90s. I mean, the way they dominated in the '90s and the early 2000s. I mean, all those division titles, all those National League pennants, and the one World Series to show for it. But nonetheless, you can't argue with the success that he had. He's the reason why the Braves are where they are. And it started at Fulton County Stadium and then Turner Field and now Truist Park. And of course, let's not forget when the Braves went on that Cinderella World Series run in 2021, where they came out of absolute nowhere and won the World Series. None of us expected that to happen. I know I certainly didn't. But they proved us all wrong, and I'll never forget the night they won that World Series, and that was a special moment, and it's a moment that we're never going to forget. But tonight we're gonna pay our respects to Ted Turner, and first things first, a classy gesture on the part of WWE, acknowledging his passing at the start of tonight's Smackdown, which I thought was very, very nice of them to do. I mean, I know Vince had a lot of bad words, had a lot of negative things to say about him because of the whole Monday Night War and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, he's a human being, and he did so much for the Braves and then WCW. I mean, they were the NWA. They were the NWA. In the late '80s and into the early '90s, and then they became WCW, and then they ended up taking off. And of course, the Monday Night Wars. We'll never forget the Monday Night Wars. He was a key figure in that. Of course, when you think about him, you cannot help but think about the infamous wrestling war room, Billionaire Ted, and in WWE with the Huckster and the Nacho Man, and we all remember that. And I mean, they had those Monday Night Wars. They were something. They really were something. And he and Vince were the two key cogs in all of that. So you cannot deny. You can't deny, the legacy that he had. A pioneer of cable television and news, and I never knew though. I never knew those stories about what MF said. I mean, a media maverick and philanthropist, and Ted Turner was also an internationally known yachtsman. He was a philanthropist who founded the United Nations Foundation. He was an activist who sought the worldwide elimination of nuclear weapons, and a conservationist who became one of the foremost landowners in the U.S. Played a crucial role in reintroducing bison to the American West. As MF mentioned, he created Captain Planet to educate kids about the environment. But it was his audacious vision to deliver news from around the world in real time and all hours that really made him famous once his idea finally took off. 1991, he was named Time Magazine's Man of the Year for influencing the dynamic of events and turning viewers in 150 countries into instant witnesses of history. He eventually sold his networks to Time Warner and later exited the business, but continued to express great pride in CNN, calling it the greatest achievement of his life. Mark Thompson, the chairman and CEO of CNN Worldwide, he said, and I quote, "Ted was an intensely involved and committed leader, intrepid, fearless, and always willing to back a hunch and trust his own judgment. He was and always will be the presiding spirit of CNN. Ted is the giant on whose shoulders we stand, and we will all take a moment tonight to recognize him and his impact on our lives and the world. Turner was a legend. He revolutionized the TV business by creating CNN. And just Wednesday morning, that's what Wolf Blitzer said on Wednesday morning. He was the one who reported Ted Turner's death. And his Blitzer's co-anchor, Pamela Brown, said, "We're all here doing this because of Ted." And he was the original. Christian Amanpour, he said he was the original. He made us all proud. He made us all hopeful. And he made us all strive for his vision of a better world. And he is survived by his 5 children, 14 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. And he started all this at the age when he was only 24 years old, when he took over his dad's billboard company, Turner Outdoor Advertising. In the wake of his father's suicide, he buried his shock and grief in work, but he was not content to push other people's products forever. He bought up radio stations, then branched into TV in 1970 by acquiring a struggling station in Atlanta known as Channel 17. Tried to boost the ratings by airing old sitcoms and classic films, at one point even hosting Academy Award theater himself. He wasn't interested in news yet. He decided to invest in sports instead, acquiring the rights to the Atlanta Braves baseball games. Viewers and advertisers flocked to the channel, and as Turner turned a profit, he started to think bigger about TV. 1976, he beamed Channel 17 signal up to a satellite, and it became cable TV's first superstation, reaching cable subscribers across the country. He bought the Braves, then the Atlanta Hawks, partly to keep the long-term rights to the TV programming, and partly because it was just plain fun. And as he built the superstation, he set his sights even higher, a 24-hour news channel. And a lot of people thought the idea was crazy, but he saw a huge opening in the marketplace. And he wanted to dramatically widen the aperture of TV news, envisioning shows about business, health, sports, and other subject matter. He admitted he knew diddly squat about the news business, but he recruited the right people who did, like Reese Schonfeld, the founding president of CNN. And CNN launched on the 1st of June, 1980. And then he expanded, adding a second news network, CNN2, which was later renamed Headline News, and then HLN in 1982. CNN International, which is broadcast around the world in 85. And then TNT, Turner Classic Movies, Cartoon Network. And he acquired MGM's library of more than 4,000 old films and stirred up controversy in the film community for colorizing. He colorized many black and white movies, including Casablanca. Out of all his networks, CNN was always his baby. And Turner and his deputies knew they were creating something revolutionary. And MF mentioned about the Persian Gulf War in 1990. That was broadcast, and Time Magazine, Man of the Year in 91, and the whole 9 yards. And, and of course, his marriage to Jane Fonda. We all know that from all those Brave games where they were in attendance. And I even came across a video of him on WCW Saturday Night from a few years ago. They posted a video of him. And one of the men that I saw on that video was a man, MF, that you and I actually got to meet last Saturday as part of the New England Fan Fest, and that was Johnny B. Bad, or as he's now known, Wildman Marvelous Mark Merrow. And he played up to Ted Turner in the crowd. Ted Turner and Jane Fonda were at a WCW Saturday Night taping at the Center Stage in Atlanta. I remember that very vividly. And YouTube just uploaded that not too long ago. But just a absolute pioneer, and 2 straight nights, MF and I reliving and honoring men who were close to home for us. Last night it was me with John Sterling and the Yankees on TXN Sports World, and here tonight, MF and myself and Bullock, we're going to pay our respects. We're going to celebrate everything that this man did in the world of television and sports and entertainment and the whole 9 yards. And he was a very giving man. He was a very generous man, and he was a decent, honest man. And he is sorely going to be missed. And MF, my thoughts and prayers and condolences to his family, to his friends, and everybody that he impacted, including you, MF. I mean, this man is the reason. This man is probably the reason why you're in Atlanta. You've been a diehard Braves fan for all these years, and you had all those glory years and only 2 World Series championships to show for it. But hey, you got 2. They should have won a lot more, if I'm being honest. But they just ran into better teams, honestly. But story aside, sorry for another day. But tonight, on behalf of all of us here at Talking Wrestling TXN, TXN Sports World, and you name it, our thoughts, prayers, and condolences to his family, friends, and fans, everybody he worked with, everybody he impacted, and to you, Ted Turner. I'll do the usual. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for the inspiration. But most of all, thank you for Ted Turner, and thank you for everything that you gave us. We'll never forget you. Rest in peace, good sir. Not much more. Michael Bullock, you reported this on Wednesday. Ted Turner passing away at the age of 87.
Yeah, I mean, when I've heard about this, I mean, you had to know that this day was going to come when he passed away. And the thing is, I mean, like you said, I mean, he is the reason why CNN is here today. I mean, all those great people that are working there, they wouldn't have the job that they have if it weren't for Ted Turner, who literally got the ground running with this, and also for making WCW what it is, and one of the reasons why the whole Monday Night War took place. And I know, like you said, Vince, he had a lot of back and forth with Ted Turner, but yeah, he was definitely a pioneer, and he definitely changed the industry when it came to the news and, of course, sports, especially wrestling, and, of course, the Atlanta Braves. And I'm sure he was thankful that he got to see them win a World Series in 1995, and I'm sure somewhere back in 2021 he must have been smiling when the Atlanta Braves won it all in 2021. So yeah, you guys pretty much said everything. So like you said, our thoughts, our prayers, and our condolences go out to Ted Turner's friends, family, loved ones, and anybody who knew him. Like I said, the news and sports industry wouldn't be what it is today if it weren't for Ted Turner. So rest in peace, Ted. And there's really nothing more to say except let's get on to what was one of the reasons why one of the things he loved, and that was wrestling.
Yes, indeed, and we will indeed get it going. We're going to start off with TNA, and here we go. So the first thing we had was a no disqualification match, as it was Ethan Carter the third, EC3, versus Eric Young. Eric Young winning the match in 9 minutes and 28 seconds. It was a pretty good opener, fairly decent match, but nothing that would really kind of blow us away. I thought they did a fine job. It was a good matchup. I would say about maybe 2.5 to 3. So nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, 2.5 to 3 stars. That is the correct rating. When it comes to this first bout of last night's show, I'm a little surprised that that EY went over here. I mean, I thought they would have given it to EC3. So fine. It was an all right. It was a fine match for this. I think it's 2.5 to 3. I mean, they bring back EC3 and make it a big deal, only for him to lose to Eric Young in his first match in all these years. That is certainly a choice. And as for the match itself, it was fine, although it should not have gone 13 plus minutes. I will give it. I'm actually going to be generous. I'll give it a solid 3. So with that being said, MF, let's move on.
Next up, we have with Bear Bronson and Brian Myers of the System going up against Nick Nemeth and Casey Navarro for the TNA Tag Team titles. The winners of the bout in 6 minutes and 35 seconds, and still the TNA Tag Team champions, Bear Bronson, Brian Myers, representing the System. Anthony, it is yours.
2.5, 2 3/4. I mean, it was a match and it happened. Kind of wild that this match got half of what EC3 and EY did, but it is what it is. No surprise with the outcome, with the champs retaining. So give it 2.5, 2 3/4. MF, your thoughts?
2.5, yes, agreed. I thought they could have done a better job with it, but it is what it is. There's really nothing more to say here. Next up we had was Cedric Alexander and Eddie Edwards, once again representing the System, going up against Leon Slater and Moose. Winners of the bout, 15 minutes and 29 seconds. Leon Slater and Moose. Moose getting the jackknife powerbomb on Eddie Edwards. Well, okay. Fight of the night. Amazing match. I'll say about 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. I thought this was a fine matchup. I know a lot of people are going to be like, will Wayne and the System win? Look, I kind of feel like the System's been getting a little bit over. Moose gets a big win. All right, fine, I get it. I know a lot of people are a little annoyed because they feel like, well, Eddie Edwards should get the win here because isn't he supposed to be the one going after the world title again? Not so fast, my friends, because this was a major win for Moose. And plus, maybe this may lead to something bigger. But remember, Leon Slater's got a big title fight next week. And he's got to defend his titles against Cedric Alexander. Oh, by the way, if Leon Slater defeats Cedric Alexander, then Leon Slater will become the longest reigning X Division champion of all time. That's a major match for Leon. If he could somehow keep the belt, he will go over Austin Aries' record and be the longest reigning champion in the history of the company. So, Anthony, major stakes next week. But to me, this was the fight of the night. I thought this was an amazing match.
Agreed. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. This got rolling near the end, which tends to be the case with most things involving Leon Slater. Is it just me, MF, or are he and Moose working as a mini Mega Powers type concept here?
They are. Yeah, I agree with that.
Which is not a bad way to go for them. If nothing else, Slater versus Alexander is feeling like a big deal next week, though Slater feels like he's coming for the world title in the coming months, or at least he should. I don't know why, but I got this bad feeling that Cedric's going to win the title next week. I don't know why, but I'm just getting that feeling. I hope I'm wrong. I would love to see Slater get the win here and become the longest running X Division champion of all time. Not only the youngest champion, but the longest champion as well. That just shows you how very high they are on this young man. He is their Javon Evans. Let's be realistic. He's their Javon Evans. And
yes,
he's got that rocket pack. They're pushing him on a rocket to the moon right about now. So I cannot wait for that match on Thursday night. That is going to be, as MF would say in Monsoon, something else. And you want to talk about a banger? You want to talk about a match that's going to steal the dang show in Sacramento next week on a live show, no less, MF? So
yeah, live episode.
how often do we get those?
Not very often.
Nope. I can't think of this match alone is going to be better than anything we got on that AMC premiere in January. So I know a lot of people don't really pay much attention to TNA. I get it and I understand it. But here's the thing. If there's one match that you really need to go out of your way to see, this is that match. Their bodies of work, top notch. And Bullock and I know we saw it. Me and him and Silvera when we went last summer. We saw that insane 6-man tag team match that stole the damn show of the entire Impact taping. It was a 5-star classic. Honest to goodness, it was. That's how damn good that match was. Cedric Alexander, when he teamed up, I can't remember quite who it was he teamed up with, but I know it was against Leon Slater and the Hardys, and that match stole the dang show. So we'll see what happens. But 3.5, 3 3/4 for this. Slater and Alexander next week. Oh, by the way, 2 out of 3 falls MF Intercontinental rules.
Not only that, but we also have a number 1 contenders in a battle royal for one of the championships coming up. We got AJ Francis and Casey for the world. It's the big one. Then we also got Casey Navarro and AJ Francis in a street fight. And we also got Mila Moore and Victoria Crawford. They're going to be going in knockouts tag team action against Rosemary and Allie.
Let's go.
And then, yes, the big one, the title on the line, 2 out of 3 falls Intercontinental rules, as it will be Leon Slater versus Cedric Alexander for the title next week. The main event for this episode, Ariana Grace and Yi Ling going up for the Knockouts title, winner of the bout, in 13 minutes and 45 seconds. And the brand new TNA Knockouts World Champion, Yi Ling, she did it. She has once again regained the TNA Knockouts title for the 2nd time in her career. She is the champion. Anthony Florio, history was made. Unprecedented crowning. She did it. For the 2nd time in her career, she is the Knockouts champion.
3 1/4, 3.5 stars, 2nd best fight of the night. And very, very good match here. And this was Ariana Grace's best match, and Lei Ying Lee, you can thank her for that, because Lei Ying Lee went out of her way to make Ariana look great in this match, and she did. And great matchup here. Very happy for Lei Ying Lee. Very, very deserving of the moment, regaining the Knockouts championship. But I think we all know what the end game is. Zaya Brookside. I'll even go on the record. I think it could be at Slammiversary in Boston on June 28th at the Agnes Arena, Boston University. I think that's the end game. And if that's the case, I'm going to go on the record. I think Zaya's going to win the title. I'm already calling it right now. I think Lei Ying Lee is being set up as a somewhat transitional champion, even though I'm very happy for her to see her get the belt back. Great moment, great way to close out the show. So 3 1/4, 3.5 for this. So MF, Lei Ying Lee, once again the Knockouts champion. But I believe the end game is her and Zaya, Slammiversary at BU. Let's go.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's going to be a very good, interesting situation. And yeah, I definitely have to say, it's unbelievable how this played out. Obviously, great match, 3.5 stars, unbelievable main event. Really nothing more to say. And yes, we're going to move on to the overall review. Not bad of a show. I think there was a couple of matches that could have been better. I'm not going to totally poo-poo over this TNA episode. They did a fine job. I thought this was a 7 out of 10. So I thought they did an all right job. Anthony Foyo, it's yours, and then we'll get into SmackDown.
I'm going to go a little bit higher than UMF. I'm actually going to give this 7.5 out of 10. It was more about wrapping up some things as we move on to the big live show next week and a fresh set of tapings. It's still kind of hard to fathom that we're not getting another big show before Slammiversary, but it is letting them have the time to make things feel bigger. This felt big enough, though next week is going to be a very stacked week, which is always great to see. Not an overly great show here, but it does have me looking forward to the coming weeks, and that's the right idea, and that's the right thing to do. So 7.5 out of 10 is my rating for it. It's right around that area. I agree. So with that being said, SmackDown time.
All right. So we're gonna start it off with obviously promo segment. Jacob Fatu interrupted by the Usos. Look, Jacob was a strong. This was an okay segment. It was strong by Jacob by saying, he warned the Usos, you get involved in this fight, I'm going to burn the whole effing bloodline down, the family tree down to the ground. And he basically is like, let it be me and Roman. Let us deal with this. I want to be the one. I want to do it in my own way. I want to be the champion of the world. So let me do this. Don't get involved. Leave your ego at the door and stay out of it. There's nothing wrong with it. Now, is the Usos gonna follow suit? I think Jimmy will listen. Jay's the other hand. Jay's the wild card in this whole fight. Because I think Jay may try to get involved and get himself involved in the fight where he shouldn't be involved. So we'll see how it plays out, but nothing more to say. Anthony, it is yours. I thought this was a fine opener to the show. Florio?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to unmute my mic.
Oh, okay. All right. No problem.
Let me
it's yours.
Yeah, I wanted to address this promo because I thought this was an absolutely fantastic promo. I mean, I'm going to go on the record. I thought this was Jacob Fatu's best promo work ever. That's how much I enjoyed this promo here tonight.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. This is why I love promo segments. I mean, give me a promo that's gonna make me invest in this story. And after tonight, my excitement level for this match is at an all-time sky high, baby. His character is one of the few in WWE who has truly felt consistent in its presentation. And I also want to mention this. The crowd organically getting behind Jacob Fatu has been a fun ride. And another reason why I thought this was great is he has never felt forced and feels like he belongs in main events. Is he going to win the title? No, not going to happen. Do you honestly think they're going to take the belt off of Roman after just 20 days, especially coming off of a, 1,316-day run in his last world title run? Nah, honey, that's not happening. It would be awesome if it did. I mean, I'll be honest. I would love to see him get the title here. I really would. But the main selling point for me was putting over how much being the world heavyweight champion means to him. Talking about, doing it for his family and the whole 9 yards. That's exactly the way I am. If I was Jacob in that moment, I would have cut the exact same promo here tonight. Because everything I do it for my family. I do it for my loved ones. That's what I do. And that's that. So excellent work from Jacob Fatu tonight. For me, this was his personal best promo yet. Go out of your way to watch this, friends. This was absolutely fan-flippin-tastic. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, we saw this during our SmackDown chat tonight. We were very invested in it, word for word, and like I said, this was Jacob's best promo ever.
Yeah, I think this is definitely Jacob's best promo. I mean, this is gonna make people want to watch this match tomorrow night. I mean, I don't think Jacob's gonna win it, but by golly, I think he's gonna give Roman all he can handle. And like you said, I think the wild card is Jay Uso. We're gonna have to keep an eye on that. So yeah, this was definitely a great way to start it off, and definitely Jay's best I mean, not Jay, Jacob's best promo. So nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. I'm going to say, let's just dive right on in. First fight of the night. It was the United States Women's Championship on the line. The champion, Tiffany Stratton, putting the belt on the line against Kiana James, the winner of the bout, in 8 minutes. And still, the United States Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton, the prettiest moonsault ever. But Anthony, it was a competitive match, but Julia kind of costed Kiana the title. There was a moment where Kiana had the title won, and Julia kind of cost her protege or her friend the title.
A classic drop the ball moment. That's what Julia did. As much as I love Julia, she dropped the ball here. No doubt about it. Kiana James and Tiffany Stratton are both great athletes, but they did not get enough time to show what they can do together. The commercial break took up most of the time they spent in the ring. If they had 5 more minutes, this could have been great. I can only give this 2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star. That's pretty much the only thing I can. That's the best I could go for it. And who knows? Maybe I think this could be the beginning of the end of the partnership, or the business relationship of Kiana James and Julia. If that is the case, the question is, who would be the heel and who would be the babyface in this situation?
I would probably say I would say maybe Kiana would be the baby face and Julia would be the heel, but I don't know. I'm kind of trying to see where we go, but yeah, it would be a 50-50, and it's a coin flip how they could do it, you know?
Yeah. That's one thing Bullock and I talked about during our SmackDown chat tonight. We talked about that for a bit. So when we saw that, and that's a very good question. So only time will tell if that's the case, but 2.5, that's the best I can go. They're great athletes, but they just got pressed for time. That was the downside. And most of it, like I said, took place during that picture-in-picture break. So that did not help matters either. So no surprise with Tiffany winning, but the way we got there, though, that's definitely a head scratcher. So not much more. Michael Bullock, Kiana James and Julia. Looks like we had the looks like we're planting the seeds for a possible split here.
Oh yeah, I think we're definitely heading towards a split with these two. But like you said, I mean, who's going to be the face? Who's going to be the heel? I mean, I could see Kiana being the face, but then again, I could also see maybe Julia being the face and Kiana being the heel. So only time will tell with that. So I agree, 2.5 stars. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, I think it was fine for what it was worth. There's really not much more to add here, so we're just gonna move right on along. It was a 2.5-star match. Next up, Michael Bullock, you get to lead off on this one. Damian Priest going one-on-one with Tala Tonga, and it was Tala winning the match in 9 minutes and 30 seconds. It's yours, Bullock.
Bullock, are you there?
I'm sorry. What are we talking about?
Tala Tonga versus Damian Priest. Tala winning in 9:30.
Yeah, I thought it was another fine match here. I mean, definitely the biggest win for Tonga to defeat someone like Damian Priest. So I'll give this about maybe a 2.5 to 3 for the effort. So it's your Sledge.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 2.5 stars, good matchup. Could have been better in certain areas. But the one storyline that I'm really wondering is Royce Keys. Where's his loyalty going to go? I like the body of work. I like what they're doing with him. He's been really tight with Jacob lately, so maybe there might be something there. But you also notice Solo's trying to recruit him into the MFTs. And already, they try to corner R-Truth after they won the match over Damian. R-Truth kind of come in. Then MFTs kind of circled the wagons on him, and then Royce Keys showed up and basically had the MFTs on a retreat. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. This is going to be very interesting. So Anthony, it's yours.
3 stars for the effort on this one. Powerhouse versus powerhouse matches can often feel slow, but they did a good job keeping the pace up. Things were a little clunky in places, but it didn't feel like they had any major botches. They just didn't have a ton of chemistry as opponents. And another match that was haunted by the picture-in-picture break. It happened way too early. But the series of kicks from Damian Priest after the break, that was a fun sequence. So, not much more. Solid 3. That's the best I can go. So, MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, 3, you're right. I think it could have been better in certain areas. I'm not going to be too harsh about it, but we do indeed will move on. Next up is Cody Rhodes. He cut it a promo, interrupted by Paul Heyman of all people, and then Paul Heyman basically dropped a bomb. So basically, 2 bits of news. One, the favor. Gunther asked. Gunther is now Smackdown Blue. Paul Heyman was able to advocate for a release or a trade to be facilitated from Raw to SmackDown. Gunther has gone from Monday Night Raw to Friday Night SmackDown, and Gunther also was able to secure himself a undisputed WWE Championship match at Clash at Italia. That's right. It's going to Italy. Whoa. So, championship fight. Gunther versus Cody in Italy next month. Right after Backlash, that's going down I think it's going to be in Milan. I got to double check it, but the Clash in Italy going down, title in Turin. Okay. So we're going to Turin, Italy. Oh my goodness, man. What a matchup that's going to be. Segment was fine. I think it was a little surprise, but at least, we got what the favor was. Get me to SmackDown and get me a fight with Cody Rhodes for the title. And the other kicker is it's not even in the United States. You heard the fans yelling USA, USA, USA. I'm sorry in America, you ain't getting this fight. But you fans in Italia, man, is Forza Italia. That's what they're chanting right now. They are celebrating because they get the championship match. They will get an epic classic between Cody Rhodes and Gunther for the undisputed heavyweight championship. So Anthony Florio, my goodness. So Gunther asked for a couple of favors. Paul Heyman comes in clutch for Gunther, gets him over to the Blue brand, and more importantly, he gets a date with Cody Rhodes for the undisputed gold.
At the Inalpi Arena in Turin, Italy, at the end of this month, on the 31st of this month, we got 3 big events coming up this month in WWE. We got Backlash tomorrow night. In 2 weeks on the 23rd, we got Saturday night's main event. And then the 31st, at a special start time, by the way, of 2 p.m. Eastern, it will be Clash in Italy. So, there was no way they were going to add it to Backlash. It would have been way too late. The card's pretty much already finalized, and they've got enough already to do what they need to do there. But I'll say it like this. After Gunther got the better of him in their last 2 encounters, having Cody Rhodes thwart his attack made sense. This was a decent segment to hype their match in 3 weeks. But it's going to be a great, great matchup here. I mean, I could see these 2 boys stealing the dang show in Italy. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, this has banger written all over it. Anytime Gunther's in there, you know it's going to be must-see television. And we'll be ready on that ESPN Unlimited app in 3 weeks at the end of this month. So, yeah, huge get for MF here for SmackDown. You got the Ring General coming in. I mean, that is a major coup for you guys. And, I mean, they still have work to do. I'm not going to lie. They still have work to do. But this is definitely a step in the right direction. But they still need a lot of help. So, but that's a big get, MF. You should be very excited about that. So, I know you are. So, not much more. Michael Bullock, Gunther, SmackDown Blue now. He is officially on SmackDown thanks to the magic of the wise man, the Oracle, Paul Heyman. And now we're going to get Cody and Gunther for the Undisputed Championship in Italy at the end of this month. So Bullock, your thoughts on all this? Well, I think we may have lost him here, but we'll keep an eye on. We'll keep an eye out for his return. Oh, there he goes.
No, he's gone. Yep. All right.
Unless he hit a button with that or said, I don't know. We'll see.
I doubt it. I think he may have dashed for the night, but we'll see. Yeah. So next up on the show, let me see. Where are we here? It was Ricky Saints going one-on-one with Matt Cardona. Ricky Saints winning the match in 8 minutes and 35 seconds with the Roche. Oh, wait. Sorry. Nope. There we go. We got Michael Bullock back. All right, Bullock.
Yeah, I lost my connection, so that's why.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that's a little weird.
That's why I got dropped.
All right. So, yeah, no, you're good, man. You're good, man. So, talk about the promo segment with Cody Rhodes and Gunther and Paul Heyman.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, with we may not be getting this in the U.S., but Italy's definitely getting this. And, yeah, Cody and Gunther for the title, I'm definitely up for it. So, a great promo. And, Fletch, I know you must be salivating at the fact that the Ring General is now part of the Blue brand.
Absolutely. I think we're all excited for that. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. But, yeah, there's really not much more to add here. So this was the match that I was talking about. It was Ricky Saints versus Matt Cardona. Ricky Saints winning the match in 8 minutes and 35 seconds. I do believe this goes to you, Michael Bullock. Anthony, what's up? Is it Bullock or does it go to you?
I wasn't sure.
I think it was Bullock because I think you let.
I think it goes to Florio. I think you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it does go to Anthony. All right. So it is yours, Anthony. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
No worries. All right. This was the third match in a row that felt like it needed more time to live up to its potential, but it had a bit more time than the others. Ricky Saints is looking to make a good impression on the main roster, and Matt Cardona is looking to prove WWE was right to bring him back. So both guys brought a lot of energy to the ring. It's a little disappointing that WWE brought Cardona back after all these years just to underutilize him again. And the drop kick Cardona hit through the ropes looked like it caught Ricky more than intended. And there was something happened in the crowd with someone being kicked out, but it's unclear what it was. The crowd was definitely distracted by it for a moment. Probably some knucklehead causing trouble, but it is what it is. So I'll give this in excess of 2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star. Not much more. Michael Bullock, your thoughts? Bullock, are you there?
I'm wondering if he's having connection issues again.
He might be.
Yeah, he must be having connection issues again. All right, so I'll take it for a spin quickly. Yeah, it was a fine matchup. It was about a 2.5 star bout. It could have been better in certain elements, and there's really there's really nothing more to add. So next up we had was the 6-woman tag. Lanny Reed, Fallon Henley, and JC Jane of Fatal Influence going up against Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and the WWE Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley. Oh, all right, we got Bullock back. So, Mike, it's all yours, my friend. Let's talk very quickly about the Ricky Saints versus Matt Cardona. Ricky wins in 8:35.
Yeah, I'll give this about 2.5 stars. I mean, I thought it was a good match. I mean, basically, you wanted to give Ricky Saints his first win on the main roster. So, yeah, so it's going to be the first of many for him. So let's move into that 6-woman tag.
All right, and what I was going to try to get into was that Fatal Influence does win the match in 9 minutes and 55 seconds. But after the match was over, B-Fab, Michin, and Jay Cargill all came back, and they took out the champion, Charlotte and Alexa. It looks like Jade's not done yet. It looks like she wants her belt back, but it looks like we got ourselves a very interesting situation exploding on Smackdown with all these women trio teams now just cutting loose, Michael Bullock, as I give it to you.
Could be another issue. Yeah, I think we're looking at another. Oh, we got him.
Yeah, we're talking about the 6-woman tag, right?
Yes, Fatal Influence winning in 9:55.
Yeah, I'll give this about maybe an even 3 for this. I mean, yeah, a big win for Fatal Influence, but like you said, Jake Cargill and B-Fab and Michin are not done with Rhea, and I think we're looking at another 6-woman tag, but this time with the 3 of them against Rhea, Charlotte, and Alexa, especially after what just went down. And I'll tell you what, I mean, Fletch, Charlotte and Rhea better get on the same page, because Jade and the baddies, yeah, if they're not on the same page, we could see the same result like we saw tonight.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they play out. But it's good. We're gonna wait and see. It was pretty good. It's a 3-star bout. Fatal Influence is one of the biggest bright spots on SmackDown right now, and it's not even close. Out of all the people who got called up, especially on the Blue brand, Fatal Influence has made the biggest impact. And Anthony, the sky is the limit for these 3 ladies. Laney Reed, Fallon Henley, and JC Jane. Dude, they're grooming them to be mega stars this year. They like I said, I think Fatal Influence is about to take over on SmackDown.
Indeed, they are. Laney Reed is a lot newer than the rest of these talents, but the other five have all had years to develop their skills in WWE. So most of them found their groove right away and showed some good chemistry as opponents. The match followed the usual pattern of any six-person bout we see in WWE. Everyone got a little time in the ring on both offense and defense, and the heels controlled most of the pace so the babyfaces could make comebacks. But it was Jade Cargill. That was the difference maker. Most of the match was all right, but the ending fell apart a bit, and it's another match that I think would have benefited from more time. WWE has well, for a few more weeks anyways. They have 3 hours on Fridays. It should not be hard to include some longer matches. So, that's been the theme of this show here tonight. All these matches could have benefited from more time, especially this one. Especially the talent involved in this match. I honestly thought this was going to be the fight of the night, honestly. It might still be. I don't know. But 3 teetering on 3.25, I believe is the correct rating.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, they were a hair under 10 minutes. 9:55. They were so close to the 10-minute mark, and I think that's the biggest frustrating part. Even this match, Tama Tonga versus Royce Keys. This one also got 9 minutes and 55 seconds with Royce Keys winning the match. Again, too short for the liking. It could have gotten more time, but it didn't work. It was a fine match, with Royce winning. I think that's kind of more or less what we're looking at. It's just the body of work that just was everything. And I don't, I kind of feel like it's a little frustrating, but it is what it is. Anthony, solid match. But again, like you've been saying, theme of the night, this should have been at least a little longer. Not by much, but a little longer.
What was the time here?
9:55.
9:55 for this match too?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. 3 to 3.25 once again. I'm going to be honest with you. Yes, I was a little critical about those other matches needing more time, but if I'm going to be honest with you, when it comes to this match, this was the only match on the show I felt didn't need more time to accomplish what it set out to do. Royce Keys looked dominant, and they set up more potential matches with him in the MFTs in the future. For a guy his size, Royce Keys' endurance and explosivity are so impressive. He is not just a powerhouse. He is a well-rounded athlete who can do a lot. The standoff between Keys and Tala at ringside was clearly planting seeds for a future bout. So that's all I can say on that. So this was another 3 to 3.25 star match. So not much more. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, 3 stars for me on this one. I mean, you pretty much, this is a match I thought didn't need that amount of time, but yeah, another big win here for Royce Keys. So so there's nothing more to say. So let's move on.
All right. So I'm going to preface this very carefully. The main event segment was the funeral of the Gingerbread Man. And it had Trick Williams, it had Sami Zayn, and it ended up being an attack on Sami where Little Yachty showed up. Basically, he did the Undertaker sit-up, and that the Gingerbread Man was Little Yachty. And that's the segment itself. I think one of the fans who came on here and pretty much said it. Did I just witness the Gingerbread Man funeral in 2026? Are we sure Vince is gone? Nope. And he also added, I wouldn't have been surprised if Vince would have been in the gingerbread suit. I think that's the grand scheme of the whole thing, is that it was ridiculous, it was stupid, it was pointless. I mean, we get that you want to get the funny, ha-ha, sports entertainment comedy, but out of the expense of the United States Heavyweight Championship, and on top of that, this was your main event segment of a go home to Backlash? Really? I'm gonna, you know what? We don't need to cover this, and I'm not gonna force you guys to cover this part. This was the only low light of the entire show. Like, I think the show was fine, but this brought it down. I'm not calling it an all-time, but the show was fine. But we didn't need this. Like, this whole thing was pretty bad. Even though the fans played along with it. And hey, props to you guys for playing along, you know, chanting Gingerbread Man and the whole 9 yards, doing the moment of silence, you know, being respectful of the moment of silence and everything else. But I mean, it was stupid. Come on. Let's call it as we see it. It was ridiculous. It didn't need any preface or anything for the show. Anthony, just give me an overall review. You don't need to go into it if you don't want to. What other than that, I thought it was an okay go-home show for SmackDown. But I'll give it to you first to give a rating and whatnot.
Yeah. Tonight's SmackDown might not be the worst episode we have seen recently, but it was definitely lacking in several areas. The majority of the matches we got felt rushed, and with commercial breaks in the middle of each one, there were some that had more ad time than ring time. Stop me if that sounds familiar. WrestleMania. The funeral stuff had a couple of funny moments, but most of it was outright bad. Television. Trick Williams and Sami Zayn deserve better, and so do us WWE fans. I'm going to leave it at that. Somehow the antics with Danhausen backstage were the only thing that stood out as entertaining, which is even more shocking because if anyone else had been given that material, it would have been awful. In many ways, this week's episode was the definition of mediocre, which is unfortunate for a go-home show before a PLE. Yeah. If I had to put a grade on it, it would be a solid C. Solid C would be my grade for this. This was 6 to 6.5. That ridiculousness at the end of the show, that's what brought it down for me. So
yeah,
it's a 6 to 6.5 out of 10. Sum it up in one word: boring. Not much more to say. Bullet go.
Yeah, this to me was a boring show. I mean, yes, the matches, were good, but like you said, they just felt rushed. I mean, if you were giving it some time, you would have a better rating. But what killed the show?
Every match needed at least 5 more minutes. Every match needed at least 5 more minutes, and it would have been a fine show.
But what killed it? The fucking funeral of Gingerbread Man. Really? This is just I'm sorry. They spent way too much fucking time on the whole Gingerbread Man thing. I mean, with some of the AI images that we saw, it just part of me, Fletch, I wanted to, my head wanted to explode with the way they did it. I mean, putting Gingerbread Man next to the whole thing with the Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth's wedding, it part of me just, like I said,
I kind of get where they were trying to go with it.
But I'm sorry, again, it just didn't hit home with me. It didn't. And
the thing is, they were trying to go for the comedy haha. That's exactly what they were trying to do.
I certainly as hell didn't find it funny.
Yeah, I think a lot of people didn't find it funny.
Yeah,
some probably did, But
Well,
this
to
was one
those
of
who
those
think it,
where,
it is funny, you don't know damn shit about wrestling. I'm sorry. This is where I think the gloves is coming off for me tonight. I mean, as a longtime wrestling fan, you could have had any match or any better segment to close the show, but you
yeah.
give us this. It's
And this isn't
pathetic.
even a main event match. It like you could have done
I
Jacob
mean,
Fatu here. You could have done
Trick Williams and Sami Zayn deserve better. And
yeah,
because this is the United States Championship, the United States Championship, one of the most
yeah.
prestigious titles in professional wrestling, and you give it this kind of treatment. I mean,
Oh,
think of all the names that have held that prestigious title. I could go
mm-hmm.
on and on with all the names. I'm sure they're some are probably disgusted, or those that are probably not around, they're probably turning in their graves right now. And yeah, if you were looking for some laughs, you ain't getting any from me, WWE, because
Yeah.
what you did was fucking pathetic, awful, disgusting, and downright fucking stupid. I mean, I'm just disgusted as a fan right now, Fletch. I'm sorry. It's just, and you're trying to sell Backlash, which is tomorrow. There are probably some people out there right now. They're probably like, really? Why the hell should I waste my time on an event like this after what they did to us tonight?
I'd rather watch AEW Collision. That's what another fan would say.
I mean, and I
Well,
would rather watch some NBA playoff action than Backlash.
yeah.
That's just,
Well,
I mean,
The thing is, we have
if
a
you're
show. We have a show tomorrow, and we
yeah,
got to cover it. So
we gotta cover it. Yep. And the
yeah.
funny thing is
Unfortunately,
somebody actually blasted, AEW last week. A certain fan, I'm not mentioning any names, and no, it's not who you think it is. One person actually called AEW 3 hours of a pile of shit.
and that's what it
Said
is.
that AEW was a complete waste of time, that it was 3 hours of a pile of shit, and actually blasted AEW saying that you're a bigger joke than the WWE right now. And I'm like, wait a minute. Whoa, hold on a second. First off, I partially disagree with you by saying that AEW was a pile of shit, because honestly, yes, I have been getting back into AEW because I've been definitely contemplating lifting the ban. Oh, by the way, and Floyo and Michael Bullock knows that I've been contemplating lifting the ban on AEW. But it wasn't as bad as this fan was making it out to be. I mean, I kind of feel like you gotta, and the thing was, I started looking at his content, and I'm like, are you just a sympathizer for WWE, or are you just one of those that you just want to do it for shock value?
Just looking for effing attention.
Yeah, exactly. That, like, are you just trying to say it? Are you trying? Yeah, exactly. You don't need to say anything
and you know
more,
what?
Bullock.
And you know what I'll say? People like him that want to be attention grabbers, you don't deserve to be on fucking YouTube. And to me, I'd like to say to that person, get out.
Well, he just did. So
yeah,
I will say this.
As far as my rating, I'm sorry, you guys.
Yep.
I think you were being way too generous with that. I mean, because of all those things that I mentioned, I'm going 5.5. I'm really hitting them hard on this one. Because as a lifelong wrestling fan, for the way they really centered this on the whole gingerbread man thing. It just rubbed me the wrong way. I'm sorry.
I wonder who the producer was for this segment.
Well, whoever the
Because
producer is,
I got a feeling I think I know who it was. I got a feeling I think I know who it was. And something tells me this has Michael P.S. Hayes written all over it. I don't know why. But I got a funny feeling it was him who did this
Bruce
segment.
Pritchard. I think it was Blubber Love, Bruce Pritchard.
yeah, I think it was Blubber Love.
Pritchard?
Yeah.
As producer for this? I don't know.
He's done some questionable things, Fletch.
He's been known to have those funny
I would not be surprised if his hands were all over this one.
I don't know. I also Michael Hayes also has done some pretty
we need to find out
in WWE.
Well, we need to find
Somebody
out.
needs to be held accountable for this. One of these guys need to be held accountable for this junk.
For this shit.
Yeah, no doubt. But let's get into Backlash. We'll just get into it now. Just go quick. Like I said, it's 5 matches. The first hour will be on ESPN2. We're starting it off with Braun Breaker versus Seth freaking Rollins. This is gonna be a good match. Like, if this is the free fight on ESPN, then damn it to hell, this is gonna be a heck of a match. And what a match this is gonna be. At the end of the day, I want to say Breaker. I want to say Braun Breaker, even though I got a funny feeling that it's probably gonna be Rollins winning it. But Breaker needs to win. Rollins already got his whatever, but Breaker needs it more than anything else. If you're going to groom Braun Breaker to be the next heavyweight champion of the world or a major star, the promos is gearing like that. You're telling us that, oh, Braun is stupid. He's only about the family and this and that. To me, if I'm Braun Breaker, I would be like, screw you, Seth Rollins. I'm not my own. Yes, my family is my family, but I'm better than my family. And I'm going to prove it. This guy is the future of the company. If he loses to Seth freaking Rollins tomorrow at Backlash, I think that sets him back. And that's not what we need. We need to start building stars, not holding them back. So this is one of the rare times where I'm going to call out WWE. You better put Braun Breaker over tomorrow night, because this guy is the real freaking deal. He was supposed to be the heavyweight champion of the world before he got hurt. It's time that we recognize it, we realize it, and start grooming him to be what he's supposed to be. The unstoppable badass that's supposed to carve every single son of a bitch in the goddamn company. This is the future of Monday Night Raw. Let's start treating him like the fucking future of Monday Night Raw. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
Oh, my brother, testify. That's all I'm going to say on that. This is a match that obviously should have happened at WrestleMania. No question. But injuries to both men disrupted the timeline, leading to it now happening at Backlash. Breaker has been getting the better of Rollins at every turn, which historically would suggest that Rollins should get the win to grab some momentum back. That's not what we are expecting tomorrow, however. Braun Breaker needs momentum more than Seth Rollins. Rollins can get his eventual revenge over the Breaker in the Vision down the road. Tomorrow should be about continuing to build Braun Breaker into a terrifying force. Winner of the match, Braun Breaker. Michael Bullock. Make this unanimous, please.
Yeah, I'm going with Braun Breaker as well. I mean, I don't think there's really anything else for me to say on it, so let's move on, Fletch.
All right, next up is that aforementioned U.S. title fight between Sami Zayn and Trick Williams. Anthony Florio, unfortunately, you have the unenviable task to cover this one first. Look, we've been very harping about this matchup. We've been very harsh about this. Out of all the matches, this one has been the worst build heading into Backlash. But unfortunately, we got to pick a winner here, so it is yours.
And what we saw tonight proved why it was the worst build. Trick Williams and Sami Zayn is a mid-card title feud that revolves around a dead gingerbread man. Talk about a stale follow-up to Trick Williams' WrestleMania moment. The whole thing is disjointed. Sami is doing a slow burn heel turn after fans soured on him. It's the right call, but it's cornered Williams into a tweener role that does not suit him. WWE has been hot potatoing the U.S. title for a long time, but they have a great thing with Williams. He should win this match, put Sami in the rear view, and forge ahead. Winner and still United States Heavyweight Champion. Whoop that trick. Trick Williams. Bullet go.
Yeah, I'm going with Trick Williams to retain. That's all I'll say. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, it is in total agreement. Trick Williams won the title at WrestleMania. I would think that if they really did, I think the next guy should be Carmelo Hayes. We've been waiting for a little while now. When are we gonna get Carmelo Hayes? Or could you do Ilya Dragunov? Because Dragunov was in the mix prior to this with Sami Zayn. I kind of hope that this is the end of that storyline, that this is the blow off, and then Trick can move on to Dragunov to have him go after. Maybe even Ricky Saints could get a shot at the title. You never know. So I think that should be the ultimate move. So we'll go there. Michael Bullock, you lead off on this one. This one is somewhat of a blood feud. Io Sky going one-on-one with Asuka. It's yours.
Yeah, this has been boiling for a while. I mean, Asuka feels like that Io betrayed the family the moment she aligned with Rhea, and that she's been trying to turn Kyrie on her, and this is where she finally ends her. So, but I've been hearing rumors, guys. They're thinking about bringing Kyrie back for one night, and I think this is where we finally get the payoff, where she turns on Asuka. So we'll see what happens, but if that's the case, I'm gonna go with Io to win this match. So it's yours, Fletch.
I don't think there's much of an argument here. I think going into this was supposed to have been, I think the big decision was, why did they let Kyrie go? Now, the what I've been told was that Kyrie's contract expired and WWE just did not opt to re-up her. That was the call that I heard the whole time. It's not that they let her go, it's that basically they just allowed her to walk basically because her contract expired. But you've heard it. You've heard the push. We want Kyrie. We want Kyrie. Tomorrow you might get it. So, I mean, we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, Anthony Florio, it is yours. I got Io Sky winning as well. So it's yours.
Another match that should have happened at WrestleMania. Io Sky and Asuka has been building toward this for months. Both women could really use some stabilization. Asuka has seen the promotion release Kairi Sane, leaving Asuka without her partner and no satisfactory conclusion to Kairi Sane's part of the story. Meanwhile, Io is getting some break time from the title picture, and her partner Rhea Ripley is now the WWE Women's Champion on Smackdown. Io is the woman who benefits most from a win here, so WWE should just make the easy choice. Io Sky wins the match, and yes, I do believe Kairi will show up for a night only, cost Asuka the match, and then she can be on her way. Io wins. Let's move on.
Next up we have is the tag team match, as it will be The Miz and Kit Wilson. They are going up against Danhausen and a mystery tag team partner. From what I've been hearing, and guys, don't quote me on this, they're thinking Jelly Roll's going to be the guy that's going to be partnering with Danhausen. So if that's the case, it does fit the narrative though, because remember, Kit Wilson had an issue with Jelly Roll for a little while before Jelly Roll went on to do the storyline with Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, the WWE Championship fight. And I know a lot of people have been very down on WWE lately for the interjection of celebrities in WWE lately, especially after they were running rampant at WrestleMania. And I think a lot of people really soured on that. If this is Danhausen, I don't think we have a major problem here. It fits the narrative. It would fit the story because, like I said, everybody remember Jelly Roll had an issue with Kit Wilson. And I'm pretty sure it would fit the narrative on that part. Now, there is one other thing, maybe, that if this is a segment, funny ha-ha thing, I mean, we could have one of the minions that showed up at WrestleMania for Danhausen, one of the minions. Maybe it could be something else. Somebody said, what if it's Elton Prince? What if it's Kit Wilson's partner? Could he come back and do this? Have a yes boy feud between them two. I don't know. There's a number of different ways. The rumor is it's going to be Jelly Roll. That's what I'm hearing. If it is, fine, whatever. But the thing is that what if it's something bigger? What if a one night only you could have, he is the host. Could we get John Cena? I know. Wait a minute, Mike. Cena retired. Yeah, but it's WWE. Never say never. What if we get a Super Cena thing going? What if we just have Super Cena come out, do his 5 moves of doom, and then Danhausen does his job and wins the match? Remember, Danhausen and Cena were together at WrestleMania. And maybe he does the favor for him just this one time. The fans in Tampa would go nuts. Why not? It's WWE. Anything can happen. But I got Danhausen winning the match. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
The Miz and Kit Wilson are not winning. And that is no dig at either man, especially Kit Wilson, who was broken out as a solo act after his partner Elton Prince's injury. Danhausen is a cash cow, and his mystery partner, another name that's come up, what about CM Punk? It could be him.
Yeah.
Who reportedly...
Phil. Oh, my God, yes.
Who reportedly facilitated WWE signing the very nice, very evil superstar. So, regardless of who it is, that mystery partner and Danhausen are going to win the match. I've heard the same things you have. Jelly Roll, John Cena, CM Punk. So we'll see what happens. But regardless, Danhausen and the mystery partner are going to win the match. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, quick thought before we get into the main event here.
Yeah, like you said, I think for me, I think it's going to be whoever the mystery partner is, and Danhausen beats The Miz and Kit Wilson. So let's move on.
Main event for the heavyweight championship of the world. The OTC, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, puts the world heavyweight title on the line against the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
Jacob Fatu looks like a serious threat to Roman Reigns. Kudos to everyone involved, Jacob Fatu, the Bloodline, and WWE for conveying that so quickly. That does not mean that Roman Reigns is losing, despite rumors about an upcoming break. Reigns has been World Heavyweight Champion for only 20 days. It's unlikely he loses it so soon. After all, Roman Reigns has the 4th longest world title reign in WWE history. The company rarely takes chances with their world champions. I'll be honest, a Jacob Fatu upset would be tremendous. But this feels more like a big first test for a title reign down the line. Winner and still the heavyweight champion of the world, the OTC, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. Michael Bullock, acknowledge him.
Yeah, I think we will acknowledge him. So the winner and still world heavyweight champion, the OTC, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. Fletch, you got the final word.
It is unanimous. It is Roman Reigns. I do believe so as well, guys. I think Roman will win this one, successfully defend the heavyweight championship of the world. It's going to be a heck of a match, but Roman is going to do it. I think he will do it. He will win it. There's really nothing more to add, and we are done for the night. Tomorrow night, we will recap live right here on this channel. Backlash. We'll wait maybe 10:30. I don't know. We'll depend how it feels. But we will definitely do it. Tuesday night is Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Florio. Raw and NXT. Thursday night, live, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We are doing it. The release of the NFL schedule. That's right. They have confirmed it. They have announced it. At 8 p.m., we will go live on Anthony's channel, on the Tone 25. The minute it drops, we are jumping on the NFL 2026-2027 schedule. We will give you all the games. We will tell you what we're excited for, what we're looking at, and we will break down all of the matches that will go down in the 18-week schedule for the National Football League. And then 1 week from now, either on Friday or Saturday, we will do another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk as we'll recap TNA, Smackdown. I may do a Saturday just to include AAA because it seems like you guys are really loving the AAA content. And like I said, AAA has been the best thing going on in wrestling lately. So I may add that to the party. So we'll see how that plays out. So keep your eyes peeled on that episode coming up very, very soon. But until then, for Michael Bullock, for Anthony Floyo, I am Michael Fletcher saying so long, everybody. And we'll see you all tomorrow night for the recap of Backlash.
Goodbye.